I'm going to start with you, Sam. We've asked you to share a couple of great drinks that listeners at home can try for themselves over the holidays here. But I want to start by talking about your plans for the holidays. How are you going to spend time during this lockdown, Sam?
Oh, man. Well, I'm planning on going over to my girlfriend's parents' house. But because we're sort of working in the industry and seeing so many people, they're not that comfortable with us eating at their place. So they're just going to leave like a little grab bag for us up the front porch, and we'll have like a little drink. and then probably bring home whatever they've made for us.
Yeah, that sounds a bit like what my parents proposed too back in Thanksgiving. Well, we could make a 4.5-hour drive to have a cracker on the front porch, and we said no. No.
Yeah, not always worth the drive, but 20 minutes to the West End isn't so bad.
That's not so bad. What about you, Mackenzie? How are you going to spend the holidays?
Just enjoying the time off, relaxing, and staying safe.
Okay, that's good. Mackenzie, let's get to these cocktails because this is really the order of the day. What makes a great winter cocktail in your opinion? What needs to be there?
The flavors that are highlighted that you think of when you think of the holiday season, cinnamon, darker flavors, nutty flavors, and winter cocktails, often you're going to go down a warmer route. It's warm outside. But with the cocktail that I chose to highlight, I went a brighter route, a little sweeter and on the colder side, just to show that we can still hit those delicious Christmas flavors and still have like a nice, fun, approachable, light drink to have.
Okay, well, I want to get into the details of that in just a minute, but I'll ask you before we do that. Is there one liquor that you just put into deep storage in the winter? Like I'm thinking gin, because it's so summery and people think of it as a way to cool off. Is that something you just kind of stow away is there something that doesn't work at all?
There's no way to just stow gin away all winter.
Okay.
You couldn't do that, but I think all spirits are good for any time of the year. It just depends how you choose to manipulate them.
All right. Sam, do you have a go-to cocktail for the holiday that you make at home or for friends? People line up to see this thing?
Oh man, I have a couple, but the one I'm actually sipping on right now.
No kidding.
Is it's a variation on like a hot toddy. For those that don't know, it's a hot toddy is just like whiskey with some hot water and sugar.
Oh, how much? Okay, well let's get into that. So since it's in your hand, I gather.
So yeah, I made a variation today. So I used dark rum, specifically Jamaican black rum. Which I just find has that like deeper, molassesy like winter taste.
Okay.
And then I'm actually out of sugar, so I was ripping through my fridge and I found some maple butter.
Oh.
So I used a spoonful of that.
Huh.
And then a little bit of sweet vermouth to round it out.
Wow. So when you combine the maple butter, which if it's right out of your fridge is kind of it's a chunk of solid matter, isn't it?
Yeah, so I dumped it in first before even the hot water, and then I dumped the hot water right on there.
Okay.
And then give it a big stir, and now it just tastes good.
Yeah. And you're saying you're using a pretty dark Jamaican rum, but didn't you kind of start by saying a toddy can also be a whiskey?
Yeah. It can be, so typically it's Irish whiskey, I think.
Huh.
But you can use anything. Like realistically, if you got a bourbon at home, if you have a Canadian rye at home, if you anything with an amber, like deeper color, you can use.
And what do you know about the history of this drink? Because when I think about people having a toddy, it's because they just fell through the lake or came across an open field in a horse-drawn cutter and they need a warm-up. Is that what that is built for?
I think so. I mean, I sort of just finished my day running around outside, so I felt like sort of a runner. So
yeah, Okay. All right. So now that when I think about a seasonal drink for this time of year, it's a hot toddy is kind of what I would have in mind.
Yeah.
Although tomorrow it's going to be 8 degrees, so you're going to have to change it up maybe a little.
Yeah, put a little ice cube in there.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Mackenzie, you have already decided that things are going to be different for you this year. You've got something bright, and I think you said sweet. What have you got in mind?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what do you got?
So, yeah, when I was asked to come on and talk about something, I wanted to make a cocktail that was a little bit sweeter, and I ended up going with a candy cane theme.
Oh.
And I ended up naming this drink Candy Cane Magic, because what we're going to do is, Christmas is going to pass and all the candy canes are going to go on sale. They're going to be super cheap, so we can grab those at the store, on a budget.
This is thrifty. I like this thinking. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Frugal.
And so I just took a look at my home bar, and I had a bottle of Stoli vodka and a bottle of Florida Cana 7-year rum. And so those are the two spirits I decided to use. There was about 2 ounces left in both of them. It was perfect. So I put them in a little container, and I broke up the candy cane, and I put the candy cane into both of the spirits. And I put a lid on, let that sit for.
It's like you're making gin, but with candy cane piece rather than juniper berries. It's just
It's a little infusion.
An infusion of candy cane.
Yeah.
Okay. How much candy cane are we talking? Like a couple centimeter pieces?
I actually did 4 ounces of each spirit for the infusion, which would make 4 drinks. So 2 ounces in total. And I just did 1 candy cane for both spirits.
Wow.
And it dissipates super quickly just because of the high percentage of alcohol. So it takes about 3 hours, and that's where the magic is coming in. Boom, you got a nice flavored spirit now in your house. The only time you had to leave was to go get some candy canes on sale.
Yeah.
So, and probably have some at home already.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
the next thing I did,
it's vodka, and what was the other spirit that we're?
I used rum as well.
Rum and vodka. Okay. And so, what color is the distillation now with the candy cane in there?
So I guess it turns to a nice red color. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
The rum's a little bit darker, and the next thing I did was I made a cinnamon star anise simple syrup. So simple syrup's pretty straightforward to make. Equal parts sugar, water, and as you're cooking that, you don't want to let it reach a full boil necessarily, but you want to cook it for about 10 minutes. And then probably I would throw in the cinnamon and star anise, two pieces of cinnamon and maybe 7 cloves of star anise. And you let that boil for 10 minutes. You're going to get a nice, flavorful, simple syrup. Let that sit. You don't want to use it while it's piping hot. And then...
or be in a rush for this drink, evidently.
Or, that would work pretty well in my drink, too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super great thing to have in your fridge over the holidays if you're looking to make some drinks. You can use it in really any Christmas forward cocktail, and after Christmas,
those
it's
candy
still
canes
going to be good to use.
Yeah, and they're going to be giving the candy canes away. You could make a gallon of this. Yeah.
Nice and fun. It's very delicious, and so after that, I'm using a lemon and lime juices to brighten that up, bring some acidity, tie the flavors together. And then another fun little thing I did is I took some candy canes and I put them in a plastic bag. I bashed them up with a hammer, whatever you gotta use, and take a lime or a lemon and you rim your glass. You pull that around your glass.
Oh.
And you take your glass and you dip it into the candy cane before you put the drink in. Very important. Very important.
Right.
First thing. And you get this beautiful rim that you're really going to get that candy cane flavor coming in while you're enjoying your nice libation.
That's going to be, it's going to give you a diabetic shock, or it's going to calm you down, one or the other.
It's not too bad. So in total on the drink, I just used 1 ounce of every ingredient.
Okay.
So 1 ounce of the candy cane vodka, 1 ounce of the candy cane rum, 1 ounce of simple syrup, 1 ounce of lemon and lime.
It sounds like fun. You guys both put a lot of effort into this. I appreciate it. I think we've got a good starting point. But on the whole, I hear the idea is to be inventive and to let the spirit of the season take you away. But I really appreciate the effort you put into this afternoon, both of you.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot for this, and have a great holiday.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you too.
Thank you. This is Mackenzie Irvine, bartender at Riviera on Spark Street, and Sam Lesh, bartender at the Belmont down in Old Ottawa South. And if you have a go-to cocktail or a mocktail that you enjoy this time of year, you could pass it along to an email at all